Welcome home, dandelion.
Hello, hey, hey, hello, hey, hello, hey, hey, hello, chapado, hello, hey, hey, hello, chapigado, hello, chapica, hello, 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 hello. Hello, gang. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to your safe space, bro. Okay, it is another day in the land of the living, and truly, I hope that everything is just well for you. If you are new around here, thank you for coming to see about a real one. Come sit with us. Hopefully we have everything you're looking for. Okay, this channel is a thing of things, but anyways, on that matter, if you are not new around here, you will remember that I used to love doing makeup and like show reviews or makeup and anime reviews. Those will forever be up on the channel. Now I will say that was a time, where I was first starting out YouTube. So I mean, I never want to be a person to change anything that I've ever said or done. Because I just feel like I've always been me. I mean, that part will tie more into this. So I would say go check those out if you want to. But I'm gonna just put it here, like, now that I know a little bit more about like the world and life, I will just caution you to really watch what you consume, because it does play a part in your mind, in your heart, like affecting you. So, but I mean, go watch those shows. I put disclaimers in there. Some of them, if you're under 18, please don't do it. All right, like, you just really got to be careful. With anything, but makeup reviews, just, I used to love doing it with shows. Okay, I think I did like My Hero, some kind of maid show. I remember that because I was like, scandalous. I think I talked about Naruto. Some of them I didn't talk about because it was like long animes, but I think I talked about one, was it the Deadly Seven? Something like that. Samurai 7. One of them. It's been so long, y'all. I know I talked about Demon Slayer, so I know I had Perfect Blue in there. That was a movie review I had did. And so, there's different videos that I've done, and so I stopped doing makeup reviews more or less because like my makeups look kind of shifted from what I felt like the Lord originally started me doing. And so it kind of trickled into other things. And at the time, I had just honestly assumed, okay, like, I'm done with reviews. Like, there's no more anime reviews. Like, there's no more movie reviews. Like, perhaps the Lord doesn't want me, to do this anymore, because it went from me kind of like talking over the videos and stuff like that to, cutting them down shorter, among other things. I mean, it would just take me such a long time to try to put on makeup. And I mean, I didn't mind doing it because, I would talk something through. But like, say for instance, how I'm talking right now and I'm just putting on makeup, I can draw you out a 5-minute conversation just like this while I'm putting on my makeup. And so I don't know if it just became too long or why the Lord shifted me, but I stopped doing it. Anyways, I wanted to start back doing it when I started back my podcast. To anybody who's watching this, the podcast is still on hold, bro. And it's not, I think it's just more of those things where originally, when I was starting everything, hang on. It's a great day to be at work. Originally, when I was starting like my podcast and stuff, everything. I had seasons set up, series. I gotta this is my first time wearing this shirt, and I'm like, there was podcasts, there was everything else, and so I tried to run it like by series, and then it became a thing, y'all. Yes, I'm fidgety. I'm getting to the point, I promise. But then it became a thing where like, I think I'm just nervous. You know, you get nervous. But it became a thing of where we moved, life happened, and I haven't really been able to do my podcast like I want. I also kind of think it's one thing, like, and this is for somebody else, you know, I'm putting it in because I really want to do this review, okay? But it's about content, and I promise I'm gonna tie it up. But I just want to get to this really, really quickly. I'm not gonna be that person. This is what I was gonna say. Whenever you start like content and stuff, I feel like it's important for you to pace yourself. You know, some things you may pick up with your hands to do, and you may have like really great momentum with it, and then it dies out, and you have to be okay for that. And it doesn't mean that it'll die out for good. Maybe the Lord is just trying to shift you and get you to focus on something else, like expand your mind in a different way. You know, if I would have just stayed deadlocked, focused on things that I wanted to focus on that were not growing and benefiting in like ways I wanted, I feel like that would have heavily like discouraged me more than now, because it's like, well, he pulls me in so many directions. I want to try so many things. Like my heart desires to go everywhere if he'll allow it, you know. And so just follow the Lord. You know, sometimes he'll flow you to the east, and then he'll flow you to the west, and you'll never know. Just walk with him though, okay? And if it is something that like you're truly meant to grasp, he'll bring it back to you. Like, the one thing I know about the Lord that I've seen consistently within this past year, this is just something he started revealing to me now. Like, he will bring you back around that mountain. And it's so funny because I say that a lot. And I used to be like, all right, Lord, let's go around this mountain. Or like, I'm tired of going around this mountain, you know. And I used to think that it was just like a figment of speech. Like, if I have to, because you know, that's how she'll be going around the mountain when she comes. So I'm like, okay, let's go around this mountain, Lord, because surely on the other side of this mountain, like, you're gonna find greatness. Or if you gotta walk that mountain again to get it together, you gotta walk it. And so I just didn't think, though, by that analogy, like, truly the Lord is showing me and telling me, like, I will bring you back around that mountain, Susanna. And so this was one thing he brought back around the mountain for me. And so I feel so many things. I feel so emotional because, you know, I'm the type of person, like, I love the Lord, okay? Let me just start by saying that. Like, I love him. And so because I love him so much, I oftentimes get worried if I hear him wrong, if I'm walking right, if I'm, like, just being who he wants me to be. And so a lot of times when he tells me to do things, or like I hear things, I get very nervous if it's a me thing or a him thing, you know. So I'm still like trying to learn his voice over my voice, my pride, my wants. You know, it's a battle. It's a battle. Because even when you think you're doing the best, it's like, drop it, Cheryl. We are not there no more. Okay. And so this came back. And I was like, oh my God, like, it's another, so first, for context and for clarity, I've started another show that I've been wanting to finish and talk about on the channel. But I guess, like, I'm invested in it. I really am. It's just like one of those things where I became invested in it and I stopped, and my attention span got pulled all kinds of ways. So getting back into that show is a thing. And there's two shows like that I'm watching. Flower of Evil, and another one about a detective, about this dude. I know I've talked about it on the channel already, but this guy who's lying, he thinks he's a psychopath, and he's not about that life. Okay, so I need to finish up those two because I wanted to put them on the podcast, but I mean, the way it happened. And so it just so happened that this show came, and I was able to watch this show. And this show that I'm going to talk about today, it is called Nevertheless. So a little bit about a backstory about me. It always feels so to say all this again, but so if you take a look on my channel, you can obviously see, like, we are everywhere. But we can also see two of the things that I love the most are anime and K-dramas, you know. And really, I started out with anime first because, you know, Cartoon Network, that was something that, you know, we just grew up off of. But I stumbled upon K-pop first, and then I fell into love with Korea as a whole. And I didn't want to be one of those people who was just like, I like the music, but I didn't really like know the land or the people. And so I did deep dives about Korean culture, you know, and it was something that I just really started to love. And so I wanted to learn the language, I wanted to study abroad, the whole shebang, you know. And so I have watched some Korean dramas that I have just absolutely loved. Well, I stopped watching them mostly because like I was watching them with people, and I didn't have Netflix, just, you know, I didn't have the apps for it and things like that. And it was one of those things where I guess, okay, so now we are in this culture where everything is just accepted and okay. But baby, 10 years ago when I was trying this in my adolescent years, this was not a thing. Like, you were heavily judged if you were black and you listened to anybody who wasn't Beyonce. Like, you know, you couldn't watch things like this. You couldn't, it was just not something that was very common for a person who looked like me, especially in a small town where like people judge you based off the color of your skin, and like that's the whole basis of that town. It's just very hard. And so, you know, me and Korean dramas, I love them, I love watching them, but it is something, even with K-pop, like Korean as a whole, and even anime, those worlds have been something that I've had to be okay with embracing, because everybody tells me that I shouldn't embrace it, but that's only because of the color of my skin. But they turn around and they want to do it, you know. And I don't want to live a life where I'm so afraid to be myself that I don't get to be myself, bro. You get this one life, all right? You get this one life to do whatever the heck it is you deem as best, because when you die, it is over with, all right? You don't get to come back. We are not being reborn out here. Like, this is it, bro. So live your life, live your truth, live it, watch what you want to watch. Okay, if it's safe, we're getting into that too. But the point is, we've made our way back around the mountain, okay, on the dramas. And so I wanted to try something new. I don't really do romance dramas anymore, but I think that that's because I'm single, and so I don't really like seeing people fall in love all the time, because it makes me sad and be like, oh, where's my lover? But I don't really feel like that no more. I want my lover. They are out there. The Lord is gonna bring him to me when he sees fit. But I'm saying, like, I think now I feel more like, yeah, I want my lover, but like, I'm okay here. You know, like, the Lord is my lover. I have to constantly remind myself he is always with me, no matter where I go, what I do. Like, the Lord is that's my man, that's my husband, my boyfriend. Like, he's here with me. And so if he is with me, truly I am not alone. And so I want to do things with the Lord that I can do with human people. You know, I feel like that cultivates the best relationship with the Lord. You cannot you have to have a relationship with him. Like, you can't not have a relationship with him. I don't know if that English is out right, but you get the point. Like, you have to have a relationship with him. And if we can be so caught up in having relationships with humans, why we can't have a relationship with him? He lives in all of us. Like, you have to learn how to talk to him, be with him. And so because of that, I was like, all right, daddy, like, let's watch this. And honestly too, the Lord is funny. My daddy is funny, all right? Because when I started the show, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, because it kind of started off slow. But within the first 5 minutes, it was some scandal, and I was like, oh, I was floored and flabbergasted. So that really hooked me in. That made me want to stay and watch more. And by the end of it, I'm just sitting here like, okay, so let's talk about it. So the show, it is called Nevertheless, bro. It is on Netflix. I'm going to start this out by saying, I implore you to not watch this show if you are 18, high school. I mean, at least in high school. I don't feel like, Americanly, I don't know how it is in other cultures, but Americanly, I don't feel like it is as bad as a lot of shows I've seen. Apparently it's banned in Korea, which that was wild to me, because I was like, what? But yeah, like it's not it's a mature show. Like there's just mature themes in it. I mean, you know, and heavy implications, and so I feel like you kind of just need to be older. You should be older to view that and really to just grasp everything that they were saying. And I'm gonna talk back into that later. So okay, when we start this mug off, so if you know how I'm about to do you, this is how I'm about to do you. For those who don't know, you can join the club and see what the other ones, because they know what's coming. I'm gonna give you some scenes. And I'm gonna purposely leave some scenes out. And I might cliffhanger some scenes just so you will go and want to watch it for yourself. Because it's not as fun if I tell you everything. Like, you need to go and watch it for yourself if you want to. But this is me trying to stir up your brain cells to go and watch it. So, there's this girl. Her name is 𝕯𝖆. Also, do not cover my pronunciations. We are Texan out here, okay? And nobody is teaching me Korean. I'm learning it with the Lord and myself. So if my Korean is not up there, come tutor me, all right? I ain't got much funds, but I can cook. All right? I got like 3 game consoles. We can play the old Pac-Man, okay? I got the old Pac-Man. I got the old San Andreas. I got some Madden for you. You want Just Dance? I even got that game. I think it's called I Spy, like with the monkeys. And y'all probably don't remember that. That was a long time ago. But so anyways, point is, don't come for me. So 𝕯𝖆, that means butterfly. This girl, she's beautiful, right? I forgot to put her ex-boyfriend's name in here. She is going to look at his work. He is like this sculptor, and I think they were actually engaged. Y'all, this man had the gall and the gumption to not post, but create a sculpture of this poor baby in such a compromising position. Like, yo, this had to be in Korea, because if it was in America, oh, I would have burned everything down, bro. Oh, I would have danced on the flames. Like, there is no way you think you about to disrespect me in front of all these people. Let's talk about the fact that, like, you don't even have to be the smartest person in the room to know what that was representing. It's like, yeah. And then he has the audacity to get mad at 𝕯𝖆 like she the problem. You posted her in her vulnerable state for the world to see and labeled it as art. But what you really did was you manipulated her. Like, you violated this lady. Like, you took sanctity things and put them on display for the world to see. And she didn't even have an okay to that. If she would have okayed it, fine, because people do worse things. She didn't know anything about that. So she is devastated, rightfully so, right? So she leaves. He goes after her and basically tries to guilt trip her into feeling bad about the fact that she feels bad about what he decided to post. She ends things. She goes to a bar. You know, she's like, I just need a drink. Because sometimes, you know, you just be feeling like, look, it's been a long day. I just want a drink. So she was like, let's go get a drink. She's sitting at the bar, listening to the soft house music, you know what I'm saying? Feeling herself, you know what I'm saying? She just creep on in the morning, young. You know, she all up in another one. She in that area of life. And so here comes in this beautiful, mischievous man, and he sits beside her, and he has a tattoo on his back, and I'm like, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. He looked like trouble, the right kind of trouble, all right? And so, and this is why the Lord is like, you need to remain seated. But so she's sitting there, and he's like, oh, is this seat taken? Like, he thinks that she's this girl. She's not this girl. And he's like, oh, okay, my bad. Like, sorry for bothering you. He walks away. He comes back and he sits down. We know this man as Park Jae-on. So, like, Park Jae-on. They say Park. They say, you know, with the passion. Park Jae-on. I give myself a 10 out of 10. Clap it up, Sarah. Clap it up. But so anyways, yes, so he and her like start this whole talking thing, right? 𝕯𝖆 is tripping, y'all. This girl is out here. She is so funny, but she basically just wants to impress him, right? And so they end up, she is fresh out of a breakup and she knows this, but they end up talking and he wants to be friends. That's what he says to her at first. Then they, you know, they part ways, they say goodbye or whatever. He asked her, "Do she want to go see some butterflies?" And she's like, "No." So I'm like, thank you that she never went and saw the butterflies. But so, so there is a group of them. So Nabi, she is in this school, and like some of them are graduating, some of them, you know, are just going up in a year. And what they're focusing on in this drama is like they're sculpt majors, art majors. Jayon, he is out here doing like welding and different things like that, but it's arts, it's sculptures, it's, you know, it's the arts, you know, we like the arts. And so there's a whole group of them that I want to talk to y'all about. So there's Yoon Sol, who is the sister to Yunabi. Yoon Sol has a best friend named Jiwon. Now they all grew up together. So there's also a pair in there named Oh Bitna and Nam Gyu-hyun. Oh, okay. So let's break this. So this is how I want to do it. So let's go back to Yoon Sol. So Yoon Sol and Jiwon, they are best friends who you can kind of immediately tell like Yoon Sol has feelings, but she's trying not to say anything. And Jiwon, she pretends to not know, but I kind of feel like it's one of those things where she knows. It's just easier for her to be like, we're friends. You know what I'm saying? And so there's Bitna. She's a bit rough around the edges, but we like her. We overall like her. And she has a best guy friend named Nam Gyu-hyun. Okay, so while this is going on, it's only 10 episodes, okay, and they're like an hour long. So it basically follows their life and the relationship of Jayon and Nabi. Now it starts off, they kind of just enter into this fling, friends with benefits, right? And so he's telling her like, it's just me and you, like, you know, it's just an us thing. And she's like, I don't want people to know about it, right? So they both basically decide they don't want people to know about them, but they want to, you know, be with each other. So they spend time together at night, you know, read, cook, eat, watch TV, other extracurricular activities that you probably should be holding off from. They're doing it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he makes it a habit to go to school, to be in her circle group of friends. He made her this pretty freaking wind catcher chime that was a butterfly, like the whole shebang. So they're going through this, right, trying to see whatever this is. Nabi is trying to get her sculpture together because she needs to graduate, and she is bombing it out here, okay? Her teacher is like, you need to get the getting together immediately. Now I have to go back and see what the teacher's name is, but I actually really like her because she was very hard on those kids. But if you understand like her perspective and really what she told Nabi at the end, I'm like, I can understand why you were so hard on them. But basically, she's hard on them. She's like, y'all need to get it together because this is garbage, bro. And y'all can't be putting none of these sculptures out there for the world to see if you don't really care about your life. Like, you need to care about your dreams. You need to care about your passion, or don't display your work. So she's giving them grief about that. They got a big exhibition coming up for the end of the year, right? So there's two other people that I want to get to them and tie back into everybody. So An, Kyung, June, and Jumin Young, love them, okay? Was waiting for them, and even the way that the show ended off with them, I was like, ah. So they are two friends, like they work in the same department. They're always together. He nags her a lot, and so you can kind of tell that like within all of these friend groups there is something there, right? Like there is some sort of chemistry, but they all kind of have real lives going on. Like between the two who was friends, like yeah, they're friends, but they're so awkward around each other, you know. And it's like at first they didn't want to realize that feelings were happening, but something happens in the show where Jumin has to end up staying with Mr. An for a little bit. I just like the way they call him Mr. An, so I'm taking it on. And so he tells her like, oh, my roommate went to the military, but I don't really think that's what it was. But yeah, he tells her like, you can stay here for a little bit. And so she's staying with him, and one scene I will tell y'all about, his mom rose up on them both at the house, and he's like, oh my, and I would have fell through the floor, because y'all know how I feel about my baby. That's the girl. But if she just rolled up on me with a guy in my house, take me to the king, I would not know what to do with myself. And so they meet, the mom is telling her a little bit about the son, and like she's really sweet about it, right? And so yeah, they're taking care of each other. She's like, you need to watch after him because sometimes he nags other people, but like he doesn't take care of himself, and it's just really cute. So that's going on. And then while this is going on, 𝕯𝖆 and 𝕯𝖆, they're having drama. So I guess that's the best way I can do a review about this. Talk about everybody's drama, because literally episodes, like, they are combined to show them as a class and as a group, but then it just disperses to like show what each individual pair is going through. And so 𝕯𝖆, she is this girl who is like, I wouldn't say she's a tomboy, but she's rough around the edges. She's a girl who likes the game, all right? She ain't about no mess. She ain't gonna take it from you. She ain't gotta take it from you, okay? If she don't wanna take it from you, all right? She like having a good time, trash talking, all right? And when she dress up, she be slaying, okay? She has a problem, though. She be down to explore the waters, and it don't be producing much fish like she be thinking it should be. And so she has a best guy friend named 𝕯𝖆. She and he end up kind of having a rendezvous one night when she's drunk. She doesn't want to admit to her feelings and be real about her feelings. And so they kind of end up having like a little spat, and they have to work through that, her and him. I'm gonna just put it like that. They have to work through that situation. So there's another lady. Her name is 𝕯𝖆. She is like a partner to dandeion. They're not really like official, but she a partner, if you catch my drift. She another friend with dandeion. And then she had the audacity, I'm gonna talk about this one. She had the audacity to approach you, 𝕯𝖆, and be like, you know what? I want to call this girl Yuna all the time, so that's why I had to pause and say her name is 𝕯𝖆. It's 𝕯𝖆, not 𝕯𝖆. 𝕯𝖆. She approaches her, and she has the audacity to try to lay into her or like tell her off about Jaya, and I hate that. I hate that so much, because your guy is the problem. So if he is telling her there is no you and him, why are you going to bother her? She don't care about you, Susanna. She dealing with the same treacherousness that you are dealing with. Okay, sometimes, not all the time, but in this case, 𝕯𝖆 wasn't hurting nobody. She didn't give two craps about 𝕯𝖆. 𝕯𝖆 cared about her though, so she approaches her and they exchange words. And I'm gonna just say, by the time that 𝕯𝖆 was walking away, I was like, your face is in the earth. You need to pick it up, baby girl. It was beautiful. So there's another person who comes up in here, and his name is 𝕯𝖆. He also has a sister named, I think, 𝕯𝖆, something like that. I could be wrong, but it's something along those lines. But so he and Yuna, he and 𝕯𝖆 were friends when she was a child, right? So it goes into that backstory. He comes back with a vengeance, and now he is ready to make his move and his mark, because basically there was a misunderstanding with them as kids. And so nevertheless, is following around all these people with these complex lives who are trying to figure out like what the idea of love is, what the idea of friendships is, and relationships. And it seems like all of them come from this place of not wanting to tread on other people's feelings, but they also want to take into account their feelings. Sometimes they don't know their feelings. Like, it's just all over the place, okay? One of the most heartbreaking scenes, I would say, was like something happens to 𝕯𝖆's final project, and it kind of just goes down the drain at first, but they were able to like make the moment better. I will say there was a cute moment where like Jayon, he doesn't really express his emotions or feelings in the best of ways. But one time, like Nabi was being cold to me, he was like, "Yeah, you're being really cold. Like that really hurt my feelings." And I just thought that was kind of cute because it's like for you to not really care about a lot of things in life, like you sure wanted to reiterate to her, like that she hurt your feelings. And then one of my other favorite scenes was like, I think it was episode maybe 7 or 8. At the end of it, Nabi is sitting outside at like one of the old spots that her and Jayon had met. And like she's looking at her phone, right? He's calling her and she's contemplating what the heck should she do in life. Cause I mean, they have not been kind. They are not the kindest to each other always. And so she was kind of like, well, what do I do? And y'all, he walks up behind her and he asks her, he's like, do you want to go see the butterflies? And I'm like, we want to go see the butterflies. Yes, we do. We want to go see the butterflies, yeah. So he actually keeps butterflies and he loves butterflies. So his love for Nabi was, kind of increased even more because she is a beautiful butterfly. So Jayon feels like she, in a way, is his butterfly. I love that. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that because the way he acted and how he ended up. So there was another couple in here, and I think their names are Jung Joo-hyuk and Jang Se-young. They were a couple, and I hope I'm getting these people right. I'm gonna put their picture up. Bro, I was not here for them, okay? I was kind of annoyed by them, and I don't know why. It's just because, like, y'all, I get so emotional in dramas. I get so freaking caught up in them. I be like, this is not even real, Cheryl. I don't like how they had so much to say about Soul or about Nabi, or how, like, because they were so in love, they were even caught, I am gonna tell this scene, they were caught being grown-ups in a room, and they were supposed to be being grown-ups. It was in Nabi's place of residence, and she didn't say nothing to nobody, but they walk around telling her business, like gossiping on her, running they freaking traps, and it's like, shut up, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You talk too much. Everybody asking all these dang questions, but ain't nobody coming up in here with solutions. Everybody in our business, but y'all trying to keep y'all business on the low. It is just not right. Oh, they made me want to just, I don't like it. And then Bitna, like, at points, bro, sometimes in the show, she'd be pissing me off too, because the way she's treating them, Mr. Nam, and I'm like, I know you like him, and I know that's your best friend, but that means you should do right about him. And like, let me just wrap up with this show and showing me, telling me. But honestly, in the goofier side of things, I give this show a 10 out of 10. I feel like it was a great show, and to relay the message it was relaying, I'm like, okay, this is very understandable. So if you want a feel-good romance drama with some angst, I would definitely say watch this, because it is right there up your alley. And I mean, it even explores the themes of friendships and like unmet love and like just situations. I feel like the way they allow certain situations to play out was not really how I expected it to go. But if that ending wouldn't have been what I thought it was gonna be, I was about to get ready to be like, ban this in America, ban this immediately. But so I really wanted to sneak this in here, not sneak it, I really wanted to stick this in here and talk about this as I draw this video to a close, because to me this is important. And so while watching this show, I really do love this show, but there are some things that personally, as a child of God, I want to speak on, because I feel like if I don't speak on this show and like really speak what the Lord revealed to me in our moments, then I talked about the show, but what else did I do? So also G1, she can get the smoke too, because if you know and you gonna leave them people on, you might as well just be with people. Stop. I don't like people who want to run around and be like la 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 until somebody else want to be like la la la, and then they want to put a stop sign in their face. No, you did that girl wrong. You were dragging her along, all right? You was out here dating every other guy and every other dude on the weekends, making her sit at home and cry, and you acting like you acted. Do better by your friends and your other interests. So anywho's, with me giving my smoke to all the cast members, the first thing I would want to say is this show, it should teach you the importance of not getting entangled with everybody. Okay, I am a virgin, so I don't know if I've heard hormones work different for people who are obviously not, virgins, and people who are. And so I cannot speak to how it must feel to like want to rage after somebody. But let me say this, I have raged in my own ways, and I have wanted, and the Lord has literally had to be like, I will sit you down on your face if you stop this. And I want to encourage you, even though everybody is saying like, oh, it doesn't matter if you have sex, like it's just sex. It's not just sex. It's not just sex. Hear me when I tell you, it is not just sex. And back in the Bible days, people were not out here just having sex. If you had sex with somebody, the Bible said you knew them intimately. Like a woman and a man, they knew each other. They were one. It's because your spirits, or not just be, you can become soul tied to spirits. Like you can soul tied to somebody else's soul and then need to break that connection. And if you are not careful with who you are seeing, and you just going out here laying in everybody's bed, you wonder why you're miserable. You wonder why your life is falling apart. You're wondering why you can't shake this person and their bad vibes. Well, because you've literally had them all up in you. Roberta, they've been in you, okay? Or on you, Roberto. And so just really be careful. Like, I know you have urges and you have needs, but that's what we have a helper for, a comforter for, because he will comfort you and he will deliver you out of those things. And before you say it's not true, I used to be a porn addict, okay? I used to touch areas that were not supposed to be touched a lot, and he broke that off of my life. And so I know what I'm saying when I say you can abstain, you can hold out, okay? Like you can't. It's been a time period for me. I'm coming up on 3 years of like not even looking at porn. So hear me when I say you can withstand. And outside of that, just guard your heart. It's nothing worse than getting involved with a person who wants the benefits of knowing you, but also wants to have the benefit of walking away from you. I don't go out and sleep with people not because I just like the Bible tells me don't do that, so obviously like there's that. But on top of that, it's like even from an emotional standpoint, I don't want you to use me, and it is a privilege to know me. It is a privilege to know everything underneath my clothes, bro. It is a privilege to see me naked, because the only one in this universe who sees me naked is my Father, the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't just out here walking around the streets naked for everybody to see me. It is a privilege to see me. It is a privilege to be one with me, because the Lord made me and I am a privilege to be made. I am a blessing. He fashioned me as a blessing. I am a blessing, not a privilege. I'm a blessing. He considers me a blessing. He considers you a blessing. And so you really need to understand that, like, you are not just a person to God. You are so much more to him. Like, he fashioned you with his hands. So don't let everybody be so quick to just know you or touch you, especially for pleasure that lasts 5 or 10 minutes. How you know they gonna want you next time or next year? Or how you know that they not gonna give you something in the process of giving it to you? Like, you just have to think about so many things. But what's best for your heart, What's best for your soul, okay? What's best for your life? So that's one thing that I really thought about. And then 2, let's talk about Yoon and Ji-won. Now, I told God this, and I'm gonna say it here right now, but I was just bluntly like, if they gonna be together, they just need to be together. And I just kind of feel like, Ji-won and Yoon, that the reason why part of this was banned in Korea was because of that, because of the skinship and the fact that they were lesbians. But we don't need to run away from that. We need to talk about that, because there are people really falling out here under that spell. And let me just say, if you are a person who thinks that by dating another woman or another man, you're not going to get hurt, that's a lie. That's a lie. Men hurt you and women hurt you too. And that's because sin has come into our world. So all of us have some level of hurt and sin in us. And even when we try to do our best, we still end up hurting people. That does not mean that you're going to date somebody of your same sex and not be hurt. Like, that's a lie. That's false. Like, get out of that notion, And I say that because I was one of those people like, oh, a girl would never do it. Stop. If she want to cheat on you, she gonna cheat on you, okay? It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Now, on top of that too, like, even though I watched this show and I shouldn't have rooted for them to be a couple, the Lord knows I was rooting for them to be a couple, because if you gonna be a couple, like, stop playing with it, all right? Just go ahead and do it now. Dang it, stop playing with my emotions and get it done. But at the same time, just be careful, because God always intended us to be man and woman. He never intended us to be woman and woman and man. Like, we were sent on this earth to populate and to reproduce, okay? But we cannot reproduce if we're man on man and woman on woman. A man can't have a baby, just like a woman can't give another woman a baby. A man and a woman have to work together to have a baby. Like, that is the order in which God has intended things. And so, you know, even on top of that, we cannot produce in a safe way if we're just out here having babies and popping it for a real one and we're not married. And then with abortion going on and with these planned pregnancies, everybody wants to have sex, but nobody wants to have accountability. So now everybody wants to throw it back for a real one and then be able to go get a plan B pill because I didn't have this in my plan. Well, then don't do it. If you don't have it in your plan, stop laying around with everybody, all right? If you don't want to have a baby, don't go out there making babies. That is what sex is for, to make babies. Like, what do you think you're doing? I'm so sorry. Like, oh, it just kind of annoys me, the state in which I see the things going on in the world. And so, while nevertheless it's a beautiful story, and like I said, I feel like you should watch it because it helps you understand emotions and feelings, and it helps you really see things through people's perspectives, and you need that. Because even me, I can be so caught up in thinking that my perspective is right and that my way is the only way, and it is nothing worse than being loud and wrong, okay? Like, okay, be loud, but to be loud and wrong, no. And so just take all of that into consideration as you're living your life and as you're watching this show. I am not telling you these things to make you feel condemned or guilty. I'm simply telling you these things because God loves you and He wants to protect you. And when He gave us these ways by which we should live our lives, it was never to punish us and say, you can't have fun and you can't explore this. It's because He knew that things would harm us and hurt us. Like, we are frail beings. We are not holy angels. We are not out here with wings, Cheryl. We bleed blood, all right? Like, and we are fighting fallen spirits and entities and princes of this world who are from, that era. Like, it is a spiritual warfare, and these spiritual beings are much more wiser than humans. That's why we need to rely on God. That's why we need to trust Him, because He is higher than them. And so He knows what protects us. He knows how to keep us safe. God wants you to have fun. God wants you to have future. God wants you to reproduce in the way that you're supposed to reproduce with the right people. So please just don't ever think that, like, the Lord is just this mean, hateful, vengeful man that don't want you to have nothing and have a life, because it's not true, okay? And if this show taught me anything, it is that you will mess up relationships if you are, first of all, not honest, and if you cross boundaries that you and the other party know you have no business crossing boundaries on. So in everything you do it with boldness. Like, if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't hide behind what you did. Just do it, because the Lord saw you do it. And if He saw you do it, and He even says, as so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you're gonna think about, well, okay, don't do it. If you're gonna think about doing it, walk away from doing it. But in the moments where you do it, own up to it, because you did it. And even I have to learn how to walk by that. Even I have to be, mindful of that, because I had a girlfriend. I had an online girlfriend, okay? I had her for I think we dated, y'all, I can't remember now, but I think it was roughly like 3 or 4 years I dealt with a toxic relationship, and she wasn't no better than a man. And the only thing I did was hurt myself more, because I was even more confused and in sin, and in the worst sinful relationship that I couldn't pull out of, because it was with another girl. So thank the Lord that I was able to, not even me. Thank the Lord that He saved me from that, and that He pulled the wool off my eyes and just allowed me to see truth. So I just want you to see truth and reason. I'm not here to judge nobody. I'm not here to make you feel bad about nothing. Just know that there is a better way, and that the Lord loves you. And when you think about all these things in life, you really need to think about your life. because time is winding down and you don't have time to just sit out here and play no more. Like, it is becoming crucial. So search your heart, search your relationships, and in all things acknowledge God, and He will direct your paths. The Lord does love and bless you. May He keep you. I love you. I believe in you. And I hope whenever you view this, you have the most incredible of days or the most amazing of nights. Goodbye, guys.